International in the Laredo Airport title, all passenger flights were direct to U.S. destinations only, including a flight back to Dallas-Fort Worth, where they had just left. Returning to Dallas would ordinarily be their best chance at finding a connecting flight to Puerto Vallarta. That is, if it weren't for the fact it was late March and every outbound flight tagged with Puerto Vallarta as its destination, be it from Dallas, Texas, or Monterrey, Mexico, was booked for the next 2 days. They could get on a standby list, but that meant sitting around airports for the next 24 hours on the slim to none chance they managed to get on. They were going to need an alternate mode of transportation. "Okay, thanks, Kathy," he said after she explained their options. "I'll let you know what we decide on." Cruz stopped short when he saw the long line in front of the ticket counter where several dissatisfied passengers were loudly making their anger and disappointment known. He scanned his eyes over the crowd, trying to find Payton in the chaos. Her soft, pretty lavender top and bright golden hair was an immediate draw. She was at the front of the line, of course, holding the woman at the counter captive if the woman's face was any indication. Only, she didn't look very charmed. He'd better get over there. He ignored the shouts from other passengers who thought he was cutting and came to stand behind Payton. "You have to be kidding me," Payton was saying. "There are no flights from this airport that can take me into Mexico? But aren't we right on the Mexican border?" "That's right, ma'am. But this airport only provides passenger flights to Dallas, Houston, Las Vegas, and Orlando. We'll be happy to board you on the next scheduled flight to Dallas, where you'll have several options for getting to your destination. Unfortunately," she said, continuing to click away at the keyboard, careful to keep her gaze diverted from Payton, "we don't have any flights returning to Dallas until tomorrow morning." "Tomorrow? No. Tomorrow I'm supposed to be enjoying a day on the bright beaches of Puerto Vallarta, killing time until my best friend's rehearsal dinner. In Puerto Vallarta. Toasting the happy couple. In Puerto Vallarta. I'm not supposed to be catching a flight heading north." "South," Payton said slowly, enunciating the words in case the woman didn't understand, which didn't earn her any favors from the daggers the woman was shooting in her direction. "I need to head south." It wasn't hard to miss the waft of alcohol on Payton's breath. How much could she possibly have consumed in the short amount of time they'd been airborne? The ticket agent pinned on a fake smile. "Yes, ma'am. I'm well aware where Mexico is, but your best option if you plan on flying to your destination is getting a flight into a bigger airport with several outgoing flights." Payton settled her hands, palms down, on the ticket counter and took in a long, measured breath. Then exhaled. "Would you mind terribly seeing, once I get to Dallas tomorrow, what flights you could book me on that would get me to Puerto Vallarta by 5 o'clock? At least she'd managed to sound reasonable. The woman smiled again and ducked her head, clearly not buying the suddenly sweet act of the crazy lady in front of her. She turned her attention to her screen, her fingers clacking away for another minute. Cruz thought about interrupting the exchange, but knowing Payton, she wouldn't believe it unless she heard it for herself. A moment later, the woman's mouth pursed tighter, and she glanced uneasily at him, then Payton. "There seems to be a little difficulty getting you on an available flight from Dallas-Fort Worth to Puerto Vallarta tomorrow. All 3 of our flights are at capacity. As you're probably aware, March is a pretty busy time of year for any beachside destination. I can place you on standby, but the earliest confirmed seat I have would be Saturday." "Saturday?" Payton shook her head. No, that's not going to work. I have to be there by tomorrow. I have to give my best friend the last night of her life as a single woman. We've been planning this since we were 12.